What's up? This is Release Rotation. My name's John W. Snyder. I'm your host of this here podcast. I mean, if you've been listening, you know me. I talk about sports, and I don't even know where to begin with what has transpired this week because of the coronavirus. I think that's what we're calling it. I don't know. But COVID-19, whatever it is, understandable that people are concerned, worried, because it's something that we're not sure of. We don't never seen anything like this. But crazy. I don't even know what to say, because I mean, obviously going into today with the way the Warriors were going to play the Nets without any fans, the way the NCAA announced today that they were going to do the men's and women's tournaments without fans, and then the fact that there's all kinds of sporting events that are impacted is insane. And then we come to find out the Thunder and the Jazz were going to tip off, and they postponed the game because Rudy Gobert tested positive for the virus. Insane. Insane. I mean, first and foremost, Mark Cuban is an amazing owner, and he had some great things to say. But some of the things he talked about was how it's basketball. That's not what's important. What's important is people aren't going to be able to work. Our loved ones, because of if we have older family members, we don't want them to get this. Those are the important things. And so, man, Cuban's already got a plan in the works to make sure that people who work for him and in the arena there get paid somehow, some way. He hasn't announced any details, but he said those are the plans, or there's plans in the works. Crazy. It's crazy too that the Jazz come to Oklahoma City. Rudy Gobert comes. He's already been tested or something, or he got tested today. If he tests negative, he's going to play. If he tests positive, he's going to sit or suspend the season, I guess is what it is. I mean, I don't even know why I guess it had to be a game time decision, but with something like this, why even risk that? I mean, playoff positioning, I guess, might be that important. I don't know, but it's crazy that they did that. The Jazz let the Thunder know, hey, this is a possibility. Don't come near our players because we have someone being tested for the coronavirus and he's been around our players. And now there's other teams in the last 10 days who have come in contact with Rudy Gobert and the Jazz, and they're all on self-quarantine now for 14 days. This is insane. This is wild. I've never obviously seen anything like this in my lifetime. I mean, I'm no doctor. I'm not in charge of the NBA, or the country or whatever, but this is just so insane to me that this is happening. We were at dinner, sitting down, about to eat some pizza, and the game was on in the restaurant we were at, and it was up next, Thunder, Jazz, and then the next thing I know, it's not there, and it was on mute because we were sitting down in a restaurant, whatever, couldn't hear anything, and then it started coming through that game was suspended, canceled, and then the next thing was that the NBA season was canceled. What? This is insane. And I get it. I'm not in charge of any of these things, obviously. All I do is talk on a microphone here for you guys. But I this might sound controversial to some people, but, and maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but I feel like with social media and news organizations that in some ways this has been blown way out of proportion, and in some ways it hasn't. And I get it, because like I said, it's a virus that no one's ever seen or heard of since whenever, and all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere. People are getting sick. Like that I get, and that's where, I guess kind of the fear comes from for some people. But like, let's look at facts and let's be rational. Like, what are all these people doing going out and buying tons of toilet paper? Like, I get it if you're going to be quarantined, but leave some for the rest of us. People buying up all the Purell, all the soap. My question also is, like, you people just now started normal hygiene? Like, wash your hands every day anyways, multiple times a day. This is just wild. And that's where I think that with news organizations and social media, that in some ways this is being blown out of proportion and it's scaring people, and it shouldn't be that way. Like, we should all come together, we should look at facts, and we should all be smart about this. Wash your hands. If you're sick, don't go to work. Don't go around people who are sick or seem to be sick or who are coughing. Keep 6 feet away. Like, for now. And like, maybe we should just do that as a country for the next 2 weeks. Like, do the best we can. And let's just use normal common sense hygiene. But I don't know, it's wild. And now with the NBA season suspended, which I hope that's accurate, because if it's suspended, the best news is that we can play basketball again, that people can get their jobs back again, because one, that's amazing for many reasons, but it also means that we've kind of got this virus under control if we can get back to our normal lives and stop freaking people out. And it's just, I get it. Like, my biggest concern is, like, if I were to get it, which I'm not planning on it, nobody is, but I'm going to use common sense hygiene, me and my family. But if you have it, like, my concern is for those older people and people with compromised immune systems. Like, that's where the concern is. Because even like Rudy Gobert, I mean, obviously he's an NBA athlete, but they're saying his symptoms are super mild. Like, the fact that he could have played tonight, like, fine. He's fine, which is a good thing. But it's those people around him and other people that can come in contact that is the biggest concern for me anyways. And it might be different for everyone else, but like, yeah, I don't want any older people to get sick with this. I don't want people with compromised immune systems to get sick with this. I don't think any of us do. But I mean, as you know, if you've been watching the news or whatever, it's crazy. And the worst place to go right now, if you do have that fear or anxiety about this virus, don't go on Twitter. Don't go there, because Twitter anyways is like one of the most negative filled places that you can find, I think, as far as social media goes. And I mean, obviously, it depends on who you follow and whatever, but there's a lot of just stuff on there that's gonna maybe scare some people, or just negative stuff. And if you get anxiety or fearful from this, don't go to Twitter, because that's not gonna help. Just stay off social media for a while. Wash your hands. Lysol your house, whatever. Stay away. Keep a good distance from people. 5-6 feet. Don't be around people who seem like they might be sick. I mean, it's common sense, but, I hope that as a country that we can at least unite in this way, especially with it being an election year. Like, I think we can all agree that this virus needs to go away. Someone needs to come up with a vaccine for it, a cure, whatever it might be. But man, let's just love on each other, take care of each other, check on our loved ones, call your loved ones, text your loved ones, whatever it might be. But man, if you're upset because the NBA season's suspended, or you're upset because you can't now go to the Final Four, like, get over it. And get over yourself, because that's not what's important right now. And maybe the best thing is to just no gatherings of 250 plus people, which I saw is what I think Oregon's doing, or Washington right now. I think that's Oregon. But man, don't be upset because NBA games are canceled or whatever else. Turn that around into a positive, and how you can help others at this point, because it is what it is. Like, this is where we're at. We got to get this thing under control. And if this is what it takes to get it under control, then this is what it takes. And man, I work in retail, and it's kind of weird. Working in retail during this time, because in retail you're around a ton of people you work with, and then people who come into your place of business, but man, don't touch your face, wash your hands, clean up some stuff with some Lysol wipes, alcohol, whatever it takes. But if you're upset because the NBA season suspended, then you've probably got other issues that you need to figure out. That's really it. I just hope that we can get this thing under control. I hope that we can get back to our normal lives, that people can afford things and have their jobs and get paid for their jobs if they can't work, because it's not their choice they can't work if they're healthy. Like, that's a bummer. And I hope there's some kind of package that Republicans and Democrats can agree on in the House and the Senate that can help all Americans get to a place where they can afford the basic things they need if they can't work right now. Because this is something we've never experienced, and I hope we never do again. But life goes on. We'll figure it out. This will be temporary. But in this time right now, let's help each other. Let's love on each other. Love wins. And this is the time that people need positivity and love and kindness and empathy and care. And so I just hope as a country and as the human race that we can all come together and agree on that, because it's 2020 as an election year. It's gonna be a divided year, because I know that we all have friends who are on the other side of the aisle. We probably don't agree with them politically. There's people, no one agrees with everyone politically anyways on everything. So that's never going to happen, but It's obviously way more divisive this year, it seems like. And so I hope we can put that aside and we can all come together and take care of each other and stay clean and perform common sense hygiene. That's all I ask. But man, what a wild night for sports, the NBA. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that they're not going to have people in attendance. Concerts are getting canceled. Coachella's canceled. The biggest rodeo in Texas, this is canceled in Houston. You know, like, it's crazy. But if that's what it takes for a month to get this thing under control, then so be it. There's way more important things than sporting events. And so that's it. That's all I have right now. Sorry, I was looking at, I have ESPN on in the background right now, because it's like 10:25 my time here on the West Coast, and I was trying to see what they were saying, but man, all the conference tournaments are going to keep playing without fans, which that's fine. At least that's going to be happening. You just can't go to a game. At least you're going to be able to watch some NCAA basketball, which that's what time of year it is. And, you know, it might be a little different right now for the NBA because they did have a player test positive who's been around a lot of other players. And so that makes sense. Suspend the season for a little bit, but hopefully we can get back into it. But man, what a wild year. Crazy. Just with everything that's happened with the NBA. So that's all I have for sports right now. We'll be back after these messages. Or this one message, I should say. And we're back. So, first part I talked about sports and how they're affected by COVID-19 virus, but the other thing that's going to happen, and depending on how long this lasts, is just with jobs and work and everything. Because I saw Twitter is asking all of their employees to work from home. I don't know how long it was, but I saw that. It was from the Twitter communications team or something like that they're going to ask all their employees to work from home. And so it really got me thinking, like, what can I do if I were in this situation where I had to work from home for a month, or with my job, I like the current job I have now, I can't work from home. And so what would I do for that month if I'm trying to figure out, like, well, if this happens again or whatever, like, what is it I can do in my life to make money while I'm home? And, you know, it got me thinking. I mean, you know, people can code and people can write, people can draw, paint, podcast, make videos, you know, whatever it might be. I hope that this kind of gets your mind going and thinking of some things that maybe you could do. And maybe there's things that you have wanted to do and you haven't yet. Maybe this will push you to do it. Maybe this will push me to podcast some more rather than once a month, which is what I've done the last 3 months, because I do enjoy this. And, you know, if I had to do this every day because of my job, and if I couldn't work at my job and I had to work from home, what would that look like? What would I do? What would you do? And so that's a question. What would you do if you had to work from home? Or what would you do if you didn't have your current job anymore and you wanted to work from home? I think this is a great question to ask. I think it's something to ponder. And I don't think it's a permanent thing, obviously. I think, I'm an optimist. This thing's going to get under control. And we'll be back to life as normal. But it did get me thinking, like, could I do this every day if I had to? Or if I wanted to? But also, how's it going to pay the bills? That's the other thing. And I think with technology and like just your phone, like you can literally start a podcast on your phone. You can create videos and post them to YouTube on your phone. You don't need any fancy equipment. And if you're not doing something yet because you're waiting to get that computer or that camera, odds are you have a smartphone that you can do all of that with. Just do it. Get after it. It's 2020. There's so many things you can do. So many things you can do thanks to technology. Where you could do it from home or on your own. If you don't want to work for the man anymore and you want to do things on your own. If you put in the work and the time, you can. It's just a matter of having that discipline and that hustle to do it. And so, do it. Work hard. Go after that passion. Have fun doing it. And so that's another, like I said, that's what I was can't talk. That's what I've been thinking about. Just with everything getting canceled in sports and who knows what's going to happen with the rest of the world and the United States right now. And so if I was out of work for 2 or 3 weeks, I would podcast every day and maybe work on some other things, but that's for sure would be my number one. Figure out how to market that and have fun doing it. But so think about that. If you had to be at home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is there some things you could do to make some money on the side? And even if you go back to your job after whatever and you're working your full-time 40 hours a week job, keep doing that thing, because sometimes side hustles turn into that main job. So work hard, have fun doing it. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Keep a good distance from people. Don't cough or sneeze on anyone. I'm out.